As you walk through the main entrance to Jefferson Junior High School and look up, you'll notice something that will probably stop you right in your tracks. It's a body of artwork that cannot be ignored, a panorama of astounding inventiveness involving the collaboration of two ninth-grade art classes, their teacher, Diana Strotbeck, and a well-known regional artist, David Spear. This extraordinary culmination of talent was made possible through the city's Office of Cultural Affairs Artist in Residency Program.
What's essential for us with these residencies, obviously, is funding, because we don't have the money otherwise to do them. So being able to write a grant to the Missouri Arts Council has been really what has made this program happen over the years. And this is our fourth residency that we've done. So we're able to leverage that money, obviously, with city dollars because of the Percent for Art project, but being able to get that funding from the state that is dedicated for arts education has been absolutely the reason for us being able to do these residencies. So it's has really made an impact on our budget and our programming, and I think definitely in the schools that we've been able to do the projects.
21 was taken.
Yeah, but look. We always aim to have the residency occur at a school that is within walking distance or in the neighborhood of where that particular Percent for Art project is, because we want to make that obvious connection with the population that's in that area and that specific artwork. So we've wanted to do more than just place artwork and say, wow, it looks great. We want to connect an audience or audiences to that work of art in an obvious way. Has been to do that through the schools.
Marie and Diane and I walked into, we walked into the school and I immediately saw what we were going to work on, which is the shelf that's about 10 feet up in the air and goes around the foyer of the entry of the school. And right now it has autographs of former students in gold frames, but they're wrinkled inside, so there's waves on the paper, and then the school flag is hanging, but at some point in time it blew in the wind and got burnt on one of the light canisters that are on that shelf. So it was looking a little sloppy to me, and I thought that maybe we could create something that would give some prominence to the city of Columbia and to the school itself, because Jeff Junior is one of those buildings that you could pick out from the landscape of Columbia because it has the big copper towers on it. So what I wanted to do was to make Jeff Junior the centerpiece, and then to make the rest of the shelf downtown Columbia scene. Now we had 44 students. And so my initial idea was to make a landscape scene that was kind of in the styles of Grant Wood, Wayne T-Ball, and Red Grooms. So we have 22 panels that are of different buildings that are cut out of masonite, and they're going to be placed on top of one another to give a kind of a dimension. And then there's going to be 8 background panels that are going to be adhered to the wall. So it's going to be 2-dimensional pieces with a 3-dimensional look.
It pretty much goes day by day. I mean, I see what David brings, okay? And, okay, here's step 1. Here's your pictures, the overhead pictures, the aerial pictures of the area and whatnot. And here's the outlay that it needs to fit in. So that determines step 1. You need to sketch buildings that fit into this shape. And so that's the first thing they did. Then David took their pictures and photoshopped them into his outline so they could see, all right, I need more here, or this works, or what didn't work. And once they got their sketches done, then we knew, next step, we're ready for enlarging. So we made transparencies and we put them on the overhead. and they blew them up on the boards and they traced that. They really like doing that.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was color blocking. And so we used the bottle paint, and they just kind of blocked out the background colors of all the buildings. And so that went probably a little longer than it should have, because I think some people got more detailed than others, and I think we should have just moved right to details in hindsight. So now this week, and we had actually started last week, but then we had those snow days, so we only had the 2 days to work. So we're spending this week really trying to finalize the details, to make those colors pop, to put highlights and shadows. And so as groups finish, we'll get them working on those background pieces, and it just kind of all flows together.
David Spear has proven himself as a great artist many times over, with numerous art exhibits, private collections, and public art commissions, which can be seen all over Columbia and the region.
You know, it was kind of a challenge because everybody's at a different skill level in these classes, and you know, you have to put the right projects with the right students in order for it to make it work. I think every student in the classroom has been challenged, and I'm pushing the limits of their patience with these pieces too, because I'm asking them to look deeper into details than they have before. I'm asking them to look at light and light sources and how it affects buildings in a different way that I don't think they have before. I think the kids have really put forth the effort to make this look good. Most of the students didn't even know about that shelf when they walk in. They didn't know that there were signatures of students of the past up there. They didn't really pay attention to the flag. They just walk into school. But this is an opportunity for, you know, new students to walk into school and have a reason to look up. You know, to have a reason to be proud of their school and where they're from. And I'm hoping that this whole art piece kind of brings some grounding to the students. They're not just hayseeds in the middle of Missouri. There were students in the past that pushed themselves beyond their capabilities to produce something that is going to be beautiful. And therefore, as students, they could take that and use it in whatever field that they want to go into to push themselves a little bit further.
The most challenging thing for me was like being able to draw the buildings how they actually are and finding the right colors to mix to get the paints right.
Yeah, I don't usually work with paint, so I've learned a lot, like how to, like where the light goes and how you shade, and like how to like make trees look realistic and that kind of stuff.
Well, on ours, we kind of cut different buildings and put them all together. Like, this is the parking garage, and then over there is like over by Panera. And over here, this is one of the tattoo shops, and then some of the churches. Like, these are on opposite sides of town, but we put them together.
The most I liked tracing or drawing and designing the building and blowing it up on the board and tracing on the board. That was the most fun part of that. It was the easiest also too, so.
We learned how to make it look more 3D instead of flat. We used a tissue box with light on it and shadowed it, and yeah. Probably the hardest thing was getting everything like how they wanted it matched up. To get it to look like the real place.
Yeah.
Columbia.
I think it's good that Mr. Spear wanted to work with us and make a mark in history.
You know, the students are learning. I mean, these are really. It took me 33 years to learn how to paint like this, and I go in there and I try to teach them how to paint like I paint now, and I just, to me nowadays it's easy. You know, this is how you do a tree. This is how light reflects on a tree, and I show them, but it's a practice thing, you know, and a lot of the kids have really got it, and it's a challenge. What could be very potentially nice is 20 years later, one of these students comes back and sees the work that they've done. You know, they've left their mark on a school. You know, they've done something, they've left something behind that they could be proud of.
See that you're doing these
but I'm just going to put books, and this is the Jazz Series building, so I'm just going to put, oh, forgot about the J.
I lived in Minnesota and was involved in, you know, the arts community there, but not to the extent that Columbia is. I mean, I don't know that people realize how unique it is, how strong this is. And again, I can't say enough about Marie Hunter and all that the Office of Cultural Affairs does to get all of the events that we have all year long in this community.
If you would like to know more about the Artist in Residency program or get involved in community art events as a volunteer, contact Marie Hunter at the Office of Cultural Affairs or visit gocolumbiamo.com on the web and do a word search for Go Arts.